In or is there we are.
I'm still.
And we are live. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday. Listen, we had a little tech issues, but champions don't panic, we pivot. So we are here and I am so fired up about today. It's going to be fire. My name is Leah Garcia, financial strategist and insurance professional. It's my crusade to help you to properly protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth so you can build that legacy and create generational wealth, just like the Rockefellers. You know, and every family goes along status quo until the one comes along. And I believe you are that one for your family. So, with that, but today it's not about me, it's about my amazing guest. I'm so excited, and we're doing a little bit different format today. I'm going to actually go off stage here. And I'm going to allow our amazing guest. She's going to bring a lot of value. If you are job searching, if you know someone who's job searching, please tag them, bring them on. She's going to bring a lot of value. She's going to cram a lot of information. Have your notepad, pen ready, because if you're looking for a job, this is going to absolutely help you to boost your LinkedIn and get that reach that you're looking for. So with that, I introduce Miss Lynn Williams. Take it away, Miss Lynn.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And hi, Dan. I see you're in the audience. If you're staying on the whole time, Dan definitely knows my drill. Maybe he can help put some links in the chat while I'm presenting. So I'm going to now present my screen. And I will share the link to the deck here. So here we go. Share screen. Okay. I hope you can see my screen because I can't. I'm going to show my slideshow here. So this is LinkedIn tips to build your brand. It is definitely appropriate for job seekers. But you know what? Anybody can use this, whether you are employed or self-employed. This will help anybody. So here we go. So if your LinkedIn profile is not working for you, maybe you need to do a strategy change. So you got to kind of pull it apart and look at different areas of your LinkedIn profile. So in 2003, LinkedIn launched, and here we are in 2024. It's deemed the largest professional network in the world. It has over 1 billion people on the platform. So as of February 2024, just in the United States, and I probably need to update this statistic, but there were over 233 million just in the US, where we have 1 billion globally. Now, believe it or not, every second there are 3 people that join LinkedIn, and every second 140 job applications are submitted on LinkedIn. Now, very basic, LinkedIn 101, you have to customize your LinkedIn URL. So you can't have that gobbledygook after your name. So it takes less than 30 seconds. So if you see this, if not, read this. So I've been to LinkedIn in New York City a few times. So here it is, clean up your LinkedIn URL, gobbledygook in 30 seconds. This is me at LinkedIn in New York City in 2019. So here are some instructions that you can just click on that link. So if John Doe is your name, you can do John Doe, John Dash Doe, John Dash M Dash Doe, assuming your middle name is M or Michael, or John Doe CPA, MBA. You know, you got to find a way to customize your LinkedIn URL, because you don't want to put anything that is not customized on your resume or your business or networking cards. Now, how are you going to stand out and distinguish yourself and be a differentiator in some way, shape, or form from everybody else that does something like you? What's your secret sauce? So one way starting out is figure out what's your baseline and how do you improve from there? Well, once upon a time when I got my LinkedIn report card, AKA my social selling index, I was an 83. And you can see this is an old profile picture. So you have to have your LinkedIn profile open when you click on this linkedin.com/sales/SSI. And my scores tanked a little bit. So I'll show you, I'm not an 83 anymore. I've been a pretty busy girl. So I have not been engaging on LinkedIn quite as much as I should, but I'm now a 74. But up here, it still shows your industry SSI rank, your network rank, and your overall score, where you rank in your industry and in your network. So this is kind of your report card, and you can see where you are baseline, where you're starting. And then as you work on and build your LinkedIn profile out, you can kind of see where you're going and have you made improvements. Now I'm doing pretty well with the red line on establishing my professional brand. And down at the bottom line, the bottom blue line, I've done very well. I've got 100% in building relationships. Yes, I do have over 20,000 connections on LinkedIn. So I'm constantly connecting with people. But the purple line, I'm not doing so well on. And that's because I don't have the Sales Navigator platform. I'm not paying for that CRM platform. And then, unfortunately, this is where my number is tanking a little bit, is this teal line, is I'm not engaging with insights because I've been so busy. So I want to show you something. Here's the nonprofit website, which is greatcareers.org. If I were to type in the word commenting, and I pulled up this article, commenting on LinkedIn can create visibility, discoverability, and credibility. That is your ticket as a job seeker. And that is my ticket as far as increasing that score on that teal line in my social selling index. So you need to comment and engage on other people's posts, especially on people who work for a target company that you would like to work for. So there's a bunch of tips in here that you can take a look at. Now, another thing is your banner. Is your banner memorable? Your banner is your billboard. It's the first thing that people see visually when they come to your LinkedIn profile. You can't have that grayish, greenish blob, the default that comes with your profile. And you certainly don't want a waterfall or a beach scene or a mountain ski scene or anything like that, because that's a Facebook post, right? This is your business profile. So you need to at least make it more business-like. And what's your professional brand? What do you do? What's your USP, unique selling proposition? Now, the bottom right one is a standard LinkedIn profile. I absolutely believe in equity, but I'm not a fangirl of this particular banner because lots of people have this banner. It doesn't stand out to me. If I wanted to promote that I was, I am for equity because equity starts with everyone, I would want to make a very unique mine only equity banner and not choose a standard offering from LinkedIn. Now, let's talk about how you can make banners. So I want to talk about some people who have given me permission to share their posts. So up on the top left is Charles Watkins. So Charles was a job seeker. He is now a business coach. I want you to look at the middle picture here. Look at what his professional photo was, or I should say non-professional photo was before I told him, I'm like, Charles, you need to go out and get a professional photo. Look at the top. Look at the difference that makes. So, find a professional photographer who can take that photo for you. It makes all the difference in the world. Yes, it might cost you a few pennies, or you might actually find a networking event where somebody's taking a photo. But look at the difference. You don't want your head popping out of the circle. Your head should be 60% of the circle, because this actually represents part of your brand. Now, You can see that we have names and USPs, unique selling propositions, in these banners. So that's one way of presenting yourself. And we have bright, vibrant colors. So how do you make those banners? Well, it's very simple. Let's go to greatcareers.org again. I write every week. I've written over 270 blogs. So if I were to type in a keyword like banner, you're going to come up with an article. Looks like this. In banner. There's your LinkedIn billboard. So here's step-by-step instructions on how to make your LinkedIn banner. So I'm a former K-12 teacher, and I believe in educating people. So here you go. Step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3. And you can do this for free. Now, canva.com, you have to set up an account, and look at that. There's my pictures with me and Leah, right? So you can create a Canva account for free. Now, the only thing is there's only going to be certain number of banners that are going to be available to you for free. Otherwise, it's about $120 a year to have a Canva account. Well, you can see, how many different,
Lynn,
yeah.
I think we're still on the slide with Charles' profile. So I
Oh,
think
really?
I think we're missing a couple of slides here.
Oh, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so it's not switching with my Google
I think it's just
Slide.
a little delayed. Yeah, I think we're a little delayed.
All right. Okay. All right. Oh, and I see Christy's comments. Ever since Lynn fixed my LinkedIn profile and resume, I'm getting flooded with interview requests. So thank you, Christy. Christy actually wrote me a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile. So I appreciate that. Okay. So back to the Canva. If you go to canva.com, you will get you can set up a free account, and then you'll find templates in there, and you just type in LinkedIn banner, and you will find that you have free templates available to you. And you have to go with those. If they have a little gold crown on them, then you have to pay for an account. And if you want to, you can just pay for a month and try it out. But I love it so much. I use it pretty much every day. So check it out. Check it out for free. But go to greatcareers.org, put banner in the top right, and you'll get those step-by-step instructions. Okay, now another thing is I believe in having a key title, keywords, and a USP, unique selling proposition, in your LinkedIn headline. So I was using this thing called sharethrough.com as a LinkedIn headline analyzer, but they just changed it. So I can't measure the way that I used to measure a LinkedIn headline. So that's why we have this big red X on it. So this was me a couple weeks ago when I was ready to do a presentation. I present a lot for SCORE Silicon Valley. I've been on the SCORE Speakers Bureau for 11 years, I think. So I was about to do a presentation on a Monday, and I discovered this on a Saturday, and I went, oh me, what do I do? Okay, so I had to come up with a new plan. So my new plan was that, okay, I'm going to use ChatGPT to come up with a USP, a unique selling proposition. So you can see on this slide, I decided to come up with a prompt. And the prompt was create a unique selling proposition of less than 10 words for someone who is, and then you have to fill in the blank. Well, what do you do? What's your job? What's your job title? And what's special about you? How are you that purple squirrel? What's unique about you? And then you have to use your brain and creativity and tweak it from there. So you want to put it all together and use pipes. So pipes are up and down slashes, not forward slashes, not backslashes. And then I use a site called emojipedia.org. And with Emojipedia, you can actually put a couple emojis in your headline. But I typically put those towards the end. I don't want to put them at the beginning and interrupt, the keywords and the key titles that are in my headline. So it's fun to put a couple emojis in there in order to give it a little pop of color. So here's what I came up with. I have a client in San Francisco, and I put in the prompt, create a unique selling proposition of less than 10 words for someone who is a software test engineer and delivers a high quality user experience. So I added that key title, keywords, and then a couple words that were really important from what she considered a hot job description. And what's down below in the blue is what I proposed to her. She's since tweaked it a little bit, but still, we've got a headline of less than 220 characters that differentiates her from other test engineers or software test engineers. So we have test automation engineer, QA tester. Her sweet spots are Python, Selenium, C++, CI/CD, Cypress, API. She's collaborative, analytical problem solver. And here's that USP, unique selling proposition, ensuring flawless, high quality user experiences through expert software testing. And then there's that little emoji from emojipedia.org where the little chart is going up. So that's just an example and an idea. And since Christy popped herself up on the chat with a question, you can see her in the comments. You can take a look at her profile too, and you can see how she created a banner with a Corvette. And in her LinkedIn headline, she's also a gymnast. So you can see her headline that has the Corvette speed or Corvette horsepower and gymnast precision with a couple little emojis. And it just makes it kind of fun with a little pop of color in there. So where do keywords come from? Or where do they have to go? Well, I target them in a headline. So your headline on LinkedIn is your Manhattan real estate. So 220 characters you've got. So that's why you don't want to overload it with emojis. You want to really focus on the keywords. And you want to use those keywords very, very wisely. You don't want to say I am a, like that's not good use of words. You want to focus mainly, cut right to the chase on those main keywords. Your about section is 2,600 characters. Please don't write in dense paragraphs. Put emojis in there. Make it bullet pointy, and make it skimmable and scannable. There's basically three kinds of people. There's people that are going to read, there's people that are not going to read, and there's people that are going to skim and scan. So I would take the middle of the road approach and go for the skimmers and scanners and make it friendly and easy to read. So try to get your concepts across as to who you are, what you do, and what value that you serve. And also in some personal information in there. You don't have to be stodgy and business-like on a LinkedIn profile. A resume has certain conventions, and it's more structured without the use of pronouns. But you can certainly use pronouns and the word I in your LinkedIn profile. I just don't typically use it in the first sentence. It's more about people coming to the profile and seeing, well, what's your value proposition? What problems can you solve? And what pain points can you take away? So I start the beginning part off with, the job title. And then the second sentence would be expertise in. Next sentence would be strengths include. Next sentence would be known for. And again, take a look at Christy because she's a good example of how that would be laid out. So that's big picture of who you are and what people want to know about you. But then put your personal interest in there and put some emojis in there so people can get to know you. That they've read your profile if they reach out to you and they say, oh, wow, I saw this really cool article about a Corvette or about a gymnast, and I wanted to reach out and share it with you. Would you be willing to connect? Okay. So first, the person has to connect on LinkedIn before you can send an actual hyperlink. Okay. But at least they read the profile and you say, oh, somebody took the time to read my profile and wants to send me a link of an article that I might be interested in. Okay. Another thing you could do is job titles. So you always want to put your real job title in the professional experience, but you can embellish your job titles up to 100 characters. Now, there's some commentary that I'm going to put in here. There's the LinkedIn Recruiter and LinkedIn Recruiter Lite platforms. And there are certain job titles that recruiters will be looking for. And it's MFV, market value filters. But I have had clients who have just had keywords following their real job title, and they have been found based upon those certain keywords. So I've heard from different LinkedIn experts about the market value filters, but I've had my own clients get found based upon just some certain keywords. So interesting. You can explore and try different things on different job titles in your LinkedIn profile, but you've got up to 100 characters to embellish your job title. And LinkedIn used to have 50 skills, and now you can have 100. Doesn't mean you need to or want to have 100, but you can have up to 100. Just make sure you know that you have to reorder them. So the top 2 that are showing are the top 2 that you want to be known for. And make sure you've got some keywords woven in the details in the professional experience. But speaking of professional experience, okay, when I have clients, we have a very well-written resume. It takes a lot to work to get to that well-written resume so that every single bullet point has a metric in it, okay? When you transfer that information over into the LinkedIn profile, I do bullet point, white space, bullet point, white space. It's way easier to skim and scan rather than having it all smashed together and paragraphy. Again, take a look at Christy's profile and you will see exactly what I mean. She went through hard knocks with me, getting metrics for every single one of those bullet points. It's hard work. It really, really, really is hard work. You need a dollar, a percent, or a number. So how did you help a company make money, save time, improve processes? And sometimes it's not easy to get a number where you've made an individual contribution, but maybe you supervised a team of 4. Maybe you worked in a team of 2. Maybe you worked in a company of 700. Maybe you worked in a company that did 14 billion a year. Maybe you worked in a company that served 3 continents. So some way, shape, or form, please just get a number in there so you have some sort of a metric. Now on a resume, you can bold that number so that it stands out, so that metric stands out. But you can't, you can do that on LinkedIn, but don't do that on LinkedIn. You don't want to use Unicode or those fancy fonts on LinkedIn, because that could be a potential cybersecurity risk, and it's not readable by LinkedIn. It's readable by the human eye as a bold or underline or italicized number, but it's not a good practice. So just leave it, bullet point, white space, so people can skim and scan it. Okay, now your about section. As I said, please don't write in paragraphs. That's just not my jam. And why? It's because I'm working on writing my doctoral dissertation on the topic of LinkedIn for job seekers. And I love this quote that I ran across from the Washington Post. And I'm going to read this one verbatim because I really like this quote. To cognitive neuroscientists, humans seem to be developing digital brains with new circuits for skimming through the torrent of information online. This alternative way of reading is competing with traditional deep reading circuitry developed over several millennia. So basically, I used to be a K-12 teacher. So when I was teaching little people to read, they would read every single word, and I would measure how many words per minute they read, and then I'd ask questions for comprehension. But now that you're a big person, you are inundated with so many emails every single day, and you are skimming and scanning, and you're holding that phone in your hand, and you're blowing away, all these emails and other things. And you're basing it based upon maybe the subject line in an email or who it's from. You just got to get rid of it and get it out of your system. So you're making snap judgments. And I don't know about you, but I sometimes make a snap judgment and my brain is not processing fast enough. And I sometimes have to go and oh, doggone it, I shouldn't have blown that one away. I have to go back to my trash and pull it out and put it back in my inbox because I really wanted to read it and I just moved a little bit too fast. So if you think about this concept in relationship to your about section in your LinkedIn profile, I would tend more towards writing your about section in that skimming and scanning mode. And then if you want to write stories and do the storytelling in your posts, people will gobble that up more. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Other people may have different opinions on that, and that's okay too. All right, so here is how one way you might want to treat your about section. So this was my client who's a graphic designer. So we're cutting right to the chase. We're not saying results-oriented, passionate, starting out with fluffy adjectives. I'm not a fluffy adjective kind of person. I want to get right to the chase with the title of what it is. So creative director and senior graphic designer, bam. And then now he's an Australian living, 15 minutes away from me in the suburbs of Philadelphia. So now we're making him his authentic self. So I'm going to give you my best Australian accent today. All right. So good day. Need some Aussie ingenuity and design expertise. So there you go. So hopefully you're laughing now. So, you've got a couple emojis there and it's broken down with the white space. So you be you, what can you bring to the table? So this is a little bit different than Christy's profile, for example. But now we go on to, he made a list of core competencies and technical skills. Now, on that core competencies list, maybe it's a little bit longer than I might particularly do it, but it's all alphabetized. It's easy for somebody to skim and scan and see what those keywords are. I would typically do 12 to 15 words. Now, technical skills, those skills, when you break down Adobe Creative Suite into, Acrobat, After Effects, Illustrator, those don't fare well on LinkedIn in the skills section in the database. But you need to have those on your profile to showcase, that you know how to do those, because somebody might be looking for those particular skills as an employer looking for a graphic designer that has those skills. So they may not fare well in the LinkedIn skills section, but you still want to have them on there. So if you don't have a lot of technical skills, then you could list them alphabetically in your about section. Now, if you go to Christy's profile and you look at her freelance work, which is a filler as she's looking for a job, you're going to see she's got some mad technical skills, and they're listed horizontally. So the categories are alphabetized top to bottom, but her skills are alphabetized left to right. And there's white space in between because, as I said, she's got a lot of mad skills. Now, also in the bottom of your about section, you can put seeking new opportunity, hashtag ONO, which stands for open to new opportunities, and hashtag open to work. And then you want to put your contact information in there. Why do you want to do that? Because only people who are first level connections will see your contact info in the top of your profile under your picture. So you want to make it easy for people to reach out and connect with you. Now, if you are a woman and you don't want to publicly publish your profile or your phone number, there's something called Google Voice. So voice.google.com. So set up a Google Voice phone number and put that in there so that you have a phone number where people can reach you. And you will not only get a voice recording, but you'll also get a written transcript from that phone number. Now, over on the right, you see about section formula and ideas. So I did write an article about that. So if you click on that link there, it will take you to that article. So I write pretty much a weekly article on LinkedIn under Career News Today. So if you hit the little subscribe button, you will get notified. Sometimes it's appropriate for job seekers, sometimes for employed, and sometimes for self-employed. So if the article does not pertain to you one week, just pass it on by and wait for something that pertains to you. Now, here's Dan. So here's his headline, creative director, senior graphic designer, branding strategist. Those were the key words and key titles that he was going for. And then that USP was crafting compelling visual stories to elevate brands from down under to up over the top with cutting edge creative solutions. So there's actually keywords woven in that USP. Now, as I said, I used to use Sharethrough Headline Analyzer, but they changed the platform on or around July 20th when I went to go and use it. But they used to give 3 scores: an overall score, an impression score, an engagement score, and an impression score. And those scores are over on the right. I got a 97, and 95, and 100, which was pretty doggone good. Pretty close to 100. I've only had one client where I got 100 on the Sharethrough. So you just have to do it differently now. But they are charging for the platform. And so I think I'm cut off with my current email. But if you're using it for the first time, you can use ChatGPT to get fodder for your USP. And then you can see if you can measure just the USP without the other titles and keywords, and just play around with it and see what you can get. Now, let LinkedIn become your online portfolio. Add media to your work experiences. There's links built in here, so you can see what kind of media you can add, like YouTube videos and PDFs and links. So have fun, adding that to your profile. Publish on LinkedIn. There's a whole bunch of ideas here on different things that you can publish. And if you have gaps in your work experience, please do not use the career break gap as your most current gap. I would rather see you either use the word sabbatical. Maybe you took an education sabbatical. Maybe you took a elder care and sadly estate sabbatical. Maybe you took a personal sabbatical or family sabbatical. You don't have to get in detail. Maybe you took your own medical sabbatical, but you don't need to say that. You could just say family sabbatical. But there's a link there to an article that I wrote. I really like the word sabbatical. Another thing you could do is you can volunteer for a nonprofit. So I'm a nonprofit. I'm a 501c3 nonprofit, and we take volunteers. And that's an example of somebody sort of filling the gap with a job. So somebody could be doing their job and using their skills, but still be a volunteer. And that fills that hole, because you always want to have a present job on LinkedIn. Now, you got to have some homework on LinkedIn. So here's a little recap of create your LinkedIn headline and get your skills together and check out your public profile settings, join groups and follow companies. Here's another profile checklist. I'm not going to read all this, but you'll have this to reference when we get the link to the deck. This is not a PowerPoint deck. This is a Google slide decks, and I'm happy to share. So another thing you could do as a filler for a sabbatical or a gap is you could build a LinkedIn company page. So that's been done many times. I can show examples privately, because I don't have permission for some people as to how we filled that gap. But I will refer to Christy. Christy created a LinkedIn company page for freelance work, but there's other ways of doing it where you are showing yourself as a job seeker seeking new opportunities. So if you want to create a LinkedIn company page, there are step-by-step instructions by clicking on that link. So you need graphics. Again, you have to get that from Canva, create a logo and a company page, and kind of go from there. So these are the basics that you need for the company page. Now, if you need some resume tips, I am teaching a workshop tonight at 6 o'clock, but you must be a member of our 501c3 nonprofit. We run 18 to 25 events a month, all for the price of a cup of coffee. So if you give up a Starbucks or other brand of coffee at $5 a month, you can have over 20 hours worth of programming for $5 a month. So talk about Wealthy Wednesday, right? So 25 cents an event. So everybody has business expenses, and as a nonprofit, we're not funded by anybody other than our members and our donations. So sorry about that, folks, but that's kind of the way it is. All right. Here are my upcoming speaking events. I still have to add it onto my list ongoing, but as you can see, I do speak a lot for SCORE Silicon Valley. Those are always free. And here's my contact information, because I'm going to switch screens. I want to go live on LinkedIn and also leave a little time for some questions. And I just rebranded. I started my company in California in 1993. I moved back to Pennsylvania in 94, and I didn't like the name. So I just started my LLC with a new name in June of 2024. And so that's Career News Today, LLC. So I totally rebranded, and I set up a new LinkedIn company page. Call me crazy after 30 years, and I have a whopping 6 posts on my page. So if you'd like to follow it, I will get some other posts and content up there that will be relevant to job seekers. But my claim to fame here is that in 2023, I was nominated as one of the top 15 LinkedIn experts in Philadelphia. And also in 22-23, I was put on the top 50 LinkedIn Index Experts International list. And just 2 months ago, I was put in the same list on 2024. So you can click on those links also. And I think that's it for that. So I'm going to have to stop share so I can actually go to LinkedIn, and I'm going to share for just a couple minutes here. Share screen. Here we go. Because I didn't know that this didn't share my whole Chrome. So here's my profile. If you go to more gobsmacking resources here, you will find, I hope this comes, oh no, that didn't come up. Okay. But anyway, so that will lead you to my link tree, which is my link of links. And you'll find how to contact me and book a call if you have any questions. Happy to chat with you Saturday or beyond. My next couple days are pretty packed, but happy to chat with you. And here is a link to my newsletter. So please feel free to follow that. There's always good tips in there. And, here's the link to the company page for the Great Careers Group. Again, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. And then here's my new company page. So I think I did a whirlwind job. I don't know if people have questions. I'm on my LinkedIn profile. So Leah, maybe you can tell me if there are questions, because I can do live demos here. Actually, I would like to do a live demo on a keyword, how people can look up keywords, but I want to take live questions first before I do that.
Awesome. That was fire. I picked up some great things. So I would say if there's anyone in the audience, I know you have some questions, go ahead and put in the chat. And while they're formulating that, I have a couple of questions myself. Sure. If that's okay. So when it comes to the banner, what are some things you said what to do? What are some things to stay away from? Are there certain colors, certain font types? Like, give us some maybe 2 or 3 best practices when we're creating our banner.
So sometimes you might want to think less is more. Some people do put their website in and their phone number in and lots of other information in. You can't click on it. So I don't know. I tend to not do that. I just want to put down, what is it that I do? And you can see down at the bottom of my banner, I've got ATS resumes, LinkedIn branding, pivots and reinventions, keywords. Short and sweet, not a lot to read. And I got my new logo up there. I just keep it simple. Kiss method, right? When you can put a link on your LinkedIn profile, like right under your profile picture.
Right.
So that could be a link of links. So that's where you can build in, all your social media. You can, get the link to your website, the link to, all kinds of things. So I build that link tree, link of links, and that was absolutely free. Wealthy Wednesday. There we go. Free. So it's linktree.com. And I built in Google Docs. So I have my publications in there and other organizations that I volunteer for, like, my local SCORE chapter, and I volunteer for a veterans organization. I support veterans. So thank you, veterans, for protecting my freedom. So that's my give back.
Awesome. And Valerie does have a question. We got a ton of comments in here, but not a lot of questions. A lot of people just saying how valuable this is, so much great information. Valerie has a question. She said, can you break down what you add to the about section again? I heard job plus description plus what you bring to the table noted. Is that correct? So she just wants to verify that.
So I'm a little different because I'm an entrepreneur rather than a job seeker. So I want to like meaty stuff right here. What are the main things that I want to put in that first line? Need help with keywords? Need an ATS friendly resume? Is your LinkedIn brand memorable? Like, that's me. I do resumes, LinkedIn, keywords. That's what I do. Boom, right there. So, so why me? So I like to put emojis in, and I put words in capital letters. Okay. And then
Lynn, could you circle back? Because I didn't have your profile up. If you can circle back to your first point. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
okay. So need help with keywords. Okay. You want to really pack it with a punch on the first line. And the reason being is when your LinkedIn profile travels around LinkedIn on a desktop, a Surface, an iPad, a mobile device, it truncates in different ways.
Right.
And if you have a big old long paragraph, just think about a big old long paragraph. If on a mobile device, it's going to take over that whole screen.
Right.
So if you don't break it up into little chunks and bite-sized pieces and white space, that's a problem, right? You want people to read it. You want to make it friendly and little pops of color. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. So when you have these capital letters, okay, why me? I am looking for fun facts, okay, core competencies, contact and connect. So I know these are not clickable on a desktop, but on an iPhone, I believe they are. Maybe not an Android. I don't know if LinkedIn changed that or not, but I don't have an Android. I'm a Mac client. So let's see if I can go to. Can I go to Christy? What am I doing here? ISTIE. Okay. Let's see if this comes up or not. Yeah. Okay. So here's Christy. See, she has a very unique banner. I mean, since she popped on and said some comments, this is actually her Corvette. So here we've got the emojis here and here. Let's go to her about section. So here's the, who is she? Marketing executive. No fluffy adjectives, right? Okay, so here, I normally do expertise as the next sentence, but she reversed them. Oh, no biggie. Strengths include expertise in, known for, added another thing. Okay, here's career highlights. You see metrics, 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 metrics. And these are buckets of her sweet spots. She wants people to know she's a team leader. She's experienced in mergers and acquisitions, organizational efficiency. Now, here's Christy as a person. This is above and beyond business, right? Here's contact info. Now, let's go down here. She's actually volunteering for our nonprofit. Bless her heart. You know, she did reactivate our Google Ads grant account. We were dormant for 6 months, and she fixed that. Thank you, Christy. Now, here's her freelance. So here are her specialties. This is what she does. That's a nice short list. But here's her technical skills. Mad technical skills. See how it's alphabetical. A, C, C, M, P. But it's also alphabetical left to right. So these are gap fillers. Okay. You know, I know it's a tough job market out there. I know with that job market, it's tough out there, folks. And Dan Roth was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Dan, you might want to put that link to that article in the chat for others to read. It is a tough job market out there. We realize that. But if you optimize your LinkedIn profile, you have a way of getting found if you have the right keywords. Christy has been reached out to. I mean, she's told me this. She says, Lynn, somebody reached out to me because they liked my profile on LinkedIn. Yay. That's the goal, and if they like the metrics on there because you've told a story, you showed your impact. So how did you move mountains at your past companies? If you did it in the past, you could do it in the future.
That's, I love Christy's example because I'm an entrepreneur. So really for me, it's a different, I guess, different filter. But with Christy, she's been a job seeker. I wouldn't think of putting the Corvette there. But so I love that she incorporated that. It's a great, and if I were any of you who are watching this now or in the future, I would go to Christy Callahan. I would friend her, I'd stalk her, I'd look at her example because a lot of great key points there. And Lisa Fabec, love you, my sister. She said, I'm loving the info we're getting here today. Definitely going to have to watch this again. So this is going to be evergreen. I'm going to be reposting this. And there was another question that Christy had. She asked, have you heard of the social media filter systems? I heard they get rid of applicants if they say anything racy.
There's somebody who was posting on Facebook and she was posting numbers instead of letters for words. So, I think that's perhaps regarding an upcoming political election that we've got. I don't know. I'm not the holder of the platforms, but be careful out there. Post things that your grandma would be proud of you posting. Be vanilla. That's all I can say. Be respectful. I run a 501c3 nonprofit, and I am an advocate for diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, accessibility, and justice. So I am the mother of an autistic ADHD adult child, and I became a K-12 teacher. I left my corporate job and climbing the corporate ladder to become a teacher so I could advocate for my child because she had a IEP and then she went to college, and I had to understand what the special education laws were so I could be her mentor and her advocate. And so I really care about job seekers who are challenged with finding a job because they may have some label. It really, hits my heart for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for.
I want to show you Charles' profile just for a second, just for Leah's purposes here. You see this? Ideal client, client's biggest problems, why coaching services are essential, impact of business challenges, why choose me, how it works, take the assessment, contact info. I mean, job seekers can even take this approach.
I love that.
Break it down. So he went from being a job seeker. He's been a 2-time client. So first we were doing a cleanup for job seeking, and then he went to become a business coach. But you can take all different kinds of approaches and do your about section. You do you. Everything is individualized. Just, make it in short snippets so that people can kind of get a handle on you. He had a bunch of paragraphs there. I'm like, Charles, ain't nobody gonna read that. So let's break it down. Okay.
Nice stuff. Really great. There any other questions in the chat? We got lots of great comments. So many people adore you. You've helped so many people. I love, Charles, Not that I love Charles. I mean, I love Charles.
I love him too.
I don't know you, Charles, but I love you. No, I'm going to go ahead and look at that format because that resonates a lot with me as being an entrepreneur. So I'm really going to take a good deep dive into his profile. I do have another question.
Sure.
And you kind of answered this about not reading and building. I was going to ask about not writing in paragraphs, but the other question I'm going to ask is when we go back to that optimization, when it shows our score, our social, what is it?
Social index, social selling index.
Social index. What is the red? Because my red is always very small, but I don't know what that is. And you hit on it, but I don't remember the word.
Social selling index. That is establishing your professional brand.
Is the red one?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, let's see if I can. They used to be able to click on it and it gave you suggestions as to how you could improve it.
Yeah,
and now they don't have that now. I just tried it. Yeah, they don't have that now, sadly.
Okay.
But yeah, you really do have to build your brand. You have to care about you. This is you and your brand, whether you are a job seeker, employed, or self-employed. You have to care about what you look like and who you are and what you stand for. And you're going to constantly evolve. So, I have one client. Oh my goodness. She's been a 5-time client. She's like, okay, Lynn, it's our yearly visit. Let's update stuff on LinkedIn and let's update the performance stuff from my current job. And she gets ready for her performance review every year. We update her resume. So just so you know, September is International Update Your Resume Month. So we're not too far away from that. So people who are employed, get that pencil sharpened and think about all those metrics. So I even had an intern who 18 years old from high school. And let me tell you, he didn't have a LinkedIn profile before he came to me. He was from Argentina. So English was not his first language. He was 14 when he came to this country. And so he learned a few new words from me. But he now knows that he has to collect metrics from each of his jobs. So got to start him young. You got to get those metrics.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I see so many people who are looking for work, but then they have nothing on their LinkedIn profile except a photo. And there's literally nothing there, or they just have some real generic stuff. So yeah, it wasn't the red for me then, because I do a lot of stuff, but I wanted to see if I could find my social index score. Or what is it called? Is that what it's called?
Social selling index.
Social selling index. Yeah. There's one score on there that I could never get because I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. Are there any other questions? Oh, somebody did have a question about Linktree. Can you share the website or what that looks like for people?
I can, but I don't know that I can do it right now while we're live.
Okay,
but as soon as we're done, I'm going to put in the link to the deck and a whole bunch of other things as soon as we're done and we're off of live. So, and I will respond to other people's comments. So thank you all so much for coming today. And please go to greatcareers.org. Please check out our 501c3 nonprofit. We've been a meetup group since 2010. And, we do a lot of good things for the community and for people. We have people across the country who join us, even though we're Philadelphia based. Don't think just because we're based in Paoli, Pennsylvania, that we can't help you, because we actually have a couple international members too. But it sometimes doesn't work time zone wise, but we do things mornings, afternoons, evenings, sometimes weekends, and it's really only a couple events per month that we do in person. Most everything we do is on Zoom, and we can't do everything for free. We do a lot for free, but But even if you came to one event a month, you know, it's a whopping $59 a year. That's $5 a month. So give up a Starbs, help a nonprofit so we can help you.
Awesome. This was so, so good. I would say whether you're an entrepreneur or you are somebody who's looking for a career, new career, or even if you're a business owner, anybody wants to have a presence on LinkedIn for myriad of reasons. I mean, even with my son with his business, it's a local business. He does a trash hauling business. But I told him, you know what? Even that, to me, it's the updated business card. However, if you really want to update, you're going to get into the LLC, the metaverse, but that's another conversation. So this has been wonderful, amazing. Please reach out to Lynn. And what's the best way for them to reach you, Lynn?
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Absolutely. LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So if you go to that more gobsmacking resources link, you'll find everything you need there, or my bottom of my about section. That's got it all. I try to keep it simple. I don't even have a website, a personal website.
Yeah.
It's just the Great Careers website. That's our nonprofit website. And go to the events page, go to the membership page, go to the contact page that has all our socials on it. We do the best we can as a volunteer run organization with getting stuff out there. And if you go to, oh my goodness, if you go to the events tab, you're going to see events quick list, then events. Well, if you notice the events quick list, I have a list of all the upcoming events in August. Have I had time to build those events on the website? No. Oh, ooh, Lynn has been busy. Lynn's
That's
been
awesome.
busy. So
We
I
love
will
it.
cause for that to happen. I kind of won a little popularity contest that I didn't know I was going to win with a lot of people contacting me. So a lot of new clients. So I haven't had a chance to build that yet, all those events yet, but at least I've got them listed so you know what's coming. So all those events for August, $5, but you do have to buy an annual membership unless you really can't afford that. Contact me, email me, and we have a monthly fee of $9.99. But I have to do that manually because our system broke. Long story, but I can do a $9.99 if you do a donation. I can do it on the back end, but I have to do it manually. Don't wait till the last minute, though. Don't.
There you go. Well, that was
Yeah.
so good. Again, this was a different format, but I felt that it was so critical. I see so many people who are at a job search, job hunt, and I always do what I can to support you. So we appreciate you so, so much, Lynn. Thank you for sharing all this valuable information. This is going to be posted on my LinkedIn, also to my YouTube channel, The Wall of Wealth, so that it's there for you. You can go back, watch it again, get those information, replay it. And, reach out to Lynn. She's so approachable and she'll definitely take good care of you. That I know for sure. So again, my name is Leah Garcia, and we thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you all at the top because we know it's way too crowded at the bottom. Way too crowded. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Thanks for having me.